I'll give some general tips. I know this is easier said than done, but try not to leave it to the last minute. So a couple of reasons for that. With our online assessment process, it does include the 4-question video interview, which everyone, anyone who's eligible will have the opportunity to do the video interview process. And with that, in ours, everyone has the opportunity to record their answer, but to watch it back. And if you're not satisfied with your own answer, you can re-record it. And that's with every question, and that's for every every person applying for the program. So my recommendation, and not to leave it to the last minute, is because you can really give yourself some time, especially with that video interview, to really, I guess, kind of think about, your answer and how you want to put it forward, and sort of be give that best version, of yourself and your answer through that process. In terms of the assessment centre, probably what I mentioned before, to really, really be yourself. We really, really do look for genuinity, if that's a word. Authenticity. Sorry, thank you. Got me. Got me. And I was going to say something else that was important. Yeah, no, I had a really, really good point. Oh yes, I do have an excellent point to make. One recommendation I would make, and we recognise that a lot of people applying in the program have potentially only recently finished university, but when it does come to answering some of the interview questions, where you can avoid using, for example, a group university assignment to speak about things like teamwork and collaboration and leadership, I would really recommend that you do that. A lot of candidates will use an example of a group university assignment, and while that's not a bad thing, if you really want to stand out, I would recommend having a different response to those. And don't ever think that any short-term role, whether you were flipping sausages in a park for 2 weeks, whether you were working in retail, hospitality, whether it was a Christmas stint, something that you did to volunteer in your community, don't ever think that, regardless of the length of time of that experience or opportunity or employment that you had, wouldn't be a good enough example, if that makes sense. There are plenty of work experiences that you'll do that, there'll be examples of communication, teamwork, prioritization, relationship management. And I really recommend that you think about those examples outside of examples from university.
Yeah, and I'd say with just with the example thing, something that just came to my mind as well. If you're from a culturally and linguistically diverse background, Aboriginal background, international, even some people that are not from those kinds of backgrounds, don't ever underestimate the examples of what role you play in your community. So for example, say you play a really large role during NAIDOC week, and you just think that is I'm using a very general example here, but you're always the one that organises the big family barbecue, and you've been doing that for years, and it's actually a massive event where 50 people come to. That's event management, right? 100%. So I think that it's not quite kind of grasping at straws or anything. It is actually using your own personal experience and showing what you bring to the table as an individual. So, like Kate said, those examples are probably even better than examples of one time I did a uni assignment with four different people. If you're the eldest in a family and you constantly your organizational skills are that great because you have a really big role in your family, I think, if you can articulate that and what skills that's brought to you as a worker, because that does it's transferable skills. Your whole life is something that you can use it as an example. So I think, that would be kind of the thing. And kind of comes back to that point that I was talking about before, in that bring out yourself in all of it, because PM&C is really keen on that. And also you should just be really keen on that. I think, as a person, if people don't want you for what you bring as who you are, then you're not meant for the role. So I think, it's pretty important.
Yeah.